The trades keep coming. We have two more pretty big deals to talk about today, both involving first-round draft picks. We will start off with a trade that took place late last night. The Vancouver Canucks have acquired defenseman Marcus Pettersson along with forward Drew O'Connor in exchange for a conditional 2025 first-round draft pick, Danton Heinen, Vincent Desharnais, and prospect Melvin Fernstrom. The conditional first-round draft pick going to Pittsburgh is the pick that Vancouver acquired in the JT Miller trade just mere hours before making this trade with the Penguins. Just as a refresher, the condition on that first-round draft pick is if it lands somewhere in the top 13 in the 2025 NHL draft, it will then shift to an unprotected 2026 first-rounder. So it didn't take long at all for the Vancouver Canucks to flip that first-round draft pick, and they used it to acquire a guy in Marcus Pettersson, who in my opinion was one of, if not the best rental defenseman on the trade market. Over these last few seasons, Marcus Pettersson has been a very solid two-way top-pairing defenseman for the Pittsburgh Penguins. In each of the last two seasons, he has averaged over 22 minutes of ice time per game. Prior to being traded, Marcus Pettersson led the Pittsburgh Penguins in blocks this season and was second among defensemen on the team in hits. He's not a defenseman who's going to put up big-time point totals, but he's a solid puck mover, real good skater, and somebody that I think is going to be a really nice addition to the Vancouver Canucks left side behind Quinn Hughes. As part of this deal, the Canucks are also getting Drew O'Connor, whose finishing has dried up quite a bit this season, just 6 goals in 53 games compared to 16 in 79 games last season. Still a decent bottom 6 winger, is going to be able to do a lot of the same things that Danton Heinen did, who obviously went to Pittsburgh in this trade. He's fast, he forechecks well. However, he is younger than Danton Heinen and cheaper as well, as Drew O'Connor has a cap hit of just $925,000 and will be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the season, so that's a plus for the Canucks. I've been seeing quite a few people saying that this was an overpay by the Vancouver Canucks because that conditional first-round draft pick could end up being pretty valuable, and while yes, that is true, I feel like you have to look at this trade as more than just Vancouver giving up that conditional first to acquire Marcus Pettersson. They're also giving up that first-round draft pick here to incentivize Pittsburgh to take on the contracts of Danton Heinen and Vinny Desharnais. Desharnais has a cap hit of $2 million and is signed at that number through next season, and Danton Heinen has a cap hit of $2.25 million and is signed at that cap hit through next season as well. So by making this trade, the Vancouver Canucks improve the team right now and also give themselves some added cap flexibility this summer. Now, is there a chance this blows up in Vancouver's face and they miss the playoffs this season and Marcus Pettersson leaves in unrestricted free agency? Of course, but if they're able to extend Pettersson at a reasonable price, then I think we'll look back on this as a solid move by the Canucks, who seem to just be collecting Petterssons like Thanos collected the Infinity Stones. They have 3 out of 6 now. Who knows, maybe if Vancouver can acquire 3 more Petterssons, then they will finally win the Stanley Cup. And quickly talking about this deal from the point of view of the Pittsburgh Penguins, sure, they had to take some salary back in Danton Heinen and Vinny Desharnais, but I still think this is a no-brainer of a move for the Pittsburgh Penguins to make, because there's always that chance that, let's say the New York Rangers don't turn it around this season, they miss the playoffs, and that first-round draft pick lands somewhere in the top 13, which would then mean it shifts to a 2026 unprotected first, and say the Rangers have another bad season next year, and then all of a sudden Pittsburgh could have a lottery pick on their hands. And they're also getting a prospect in Melvin Fernstrom, who's still only 18 years old. He was a third-round selection by the Vancouver Canucks in the most recent NHL draft. He's playing in the SHL this season. Could be something there. All in all, I think Pittsburgh got really good value here for a defenseman that they clearly weren't going to extend. I'm a fan of this trade for both teams, especially if the Canucks are able to extend Marcus Pettersson at a reasonable price. Moving on now to the other trade that we have to break down. This one happened earlier today between the Dallas Stars and the San Jose Sharks. A trade that saw the Dallas Stars acquire centerman Mikael Granlund along with defenseman Cody Ceci in exchange for Dallas's 2025 first-round draft pick and also a conditional 4th-round draft pick. The conditional pick is Winnipeg's 4th-rounder in the 2025 draft and will upgrade to Dallas's 3rd-rounder in the 2025 draft if Dallas makes the Stanley Cup final. So as expected, the Dallas Stars go out and acquire a center, filling a hole that was left down the middle with Tyler Seguin being out long-term. In this trade, Dallas used up almost all of the cap relief they had with Tyler Seguin going on LTIR, as there was no salary retention here at all, so Dallas takes on about $8.25 million between Granlund and Cody Ceci's cap hits. Does this trade make the Dallas Stars a better team? I think it does without a doubt. Granlund has been incredibly productive for the San Jose Sharks over the last year and a half, but I don't think there's any guarantee at all that Dallas is going to get that same level of production from Mikael Granlund. With San Jose, Granlund was playing over 20 minutes a night. He was a key fixture on their first power play unit, and his production with San Jose isn't the only example of Mikael Granlund playing first-line center minutes and being really productive in that role. He did it for a few seasons in Nashville. He did it for a few seasons in Minnesota as well. But with the Dallas Stars, Mikael Granlund isn't going to be playing over 20 minutes tonight. He's not going to be their first line center. I think on paper, he's probably their third line center, even with Sagan out of the lineup behind Roope Hintz and Matt Duchene. And in the past, we have seen Mikael Granlund struggle as a middle of the lineup player as opposed to a top of the lineup centerman. Look no further than when Mikael Granlund was traded to the Pittsburgh Penguins at the 2023 trade deadline. That season, prior to being traded to Pittsburgh with Nashville, Granlund was averaging over 18.5 minutes a night. And then after the trade with Pittsburgh, his ice time was cut down by around 3 full minutes, and he really struggled for them. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities that something like that could happen again here now that Granlund has been traded to Dallas. We'll see where he ends up slotting in the lineup for them. Like I said, I think on paper he's probably their third line center. Maybe they move someone like Matt Duchene to the wing and have Granlund as the number 2 center. No matter what line he's playing at on 5-on-5 though, I feel like they should try and feature him on the power play because he's been really effective with the man advantage in San Jose, and the Dallas Stars power play is pretty mid. It's ranked 23rd in the league right now, so it wouldn't hurt to try. If you're going to give up a first round draft pick for a guy and use up all this valuable cap space, I think you should do your best to put him in a position to succeed, let him play to his strengths. So we'll see, like I said, where Dallas decides to slot him in at. The Stars are also getting right shot defenseman Cody Ceci as part of this deal. They definitely needed help on the right side with Miro Heiskanen out of the lineup, but I'm not really sure if Cody Ceci moves the needle all that much, if at all, for the Dallas Stars. He really struggled in San Jose, playing some pretty difficult minutes. If Dallas only plans on using him in a limited role as a third pairing guy, then he should be fine. But man, looking at their right side on paper right now, Lyubushkin, Matt Dumba, and Cody Ceci, yikes. Now, before I get out of here, we will quickly talk about this deal from the San Jose Sharks perspective. If they didn't plan on extending Mikael Granlund, then obviously this is a no-brainer. However, I will say I was kind of hoping they would keep him around just because of how effective he has been in San Jose. I feel like players like Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith really benefited from having Mikael Granlund there, and you need those type of veteran players to help guide the young guys in the right direction throughout a rebuild. But who really knows? Maybe the Sharks did try and talk extension with Mikael Granlund, but his asking price was just way too high, which wouldn't really be a big surprise, especially with the cap set to rise as much as it's going to. So those are my thoughts on the trades that sent Marcus Pettersson from Pittsburgh to Vancouver and Mikael Granlund from San Jose to Dallas. As always, I want to know what you guys are thinking, especially if you're a fan of any of the teams that were involved in either of the trades we talked about in this video. Sound off down below in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling. If you made it all this way to the end of the video and you ended up enjoying yourself, please remember to leave a like. It's the best way to let me know that you enjoyed, and it does help out the videos a ton. And most importantly, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we are going to be uploading trade breakdown videos just like this on all of the major moves that happen between now and the deadline.